Back to Christina's Creations. Tonight I'm going to do something a little bit different, but still in alignment with everything I have been doing. So basically, so far this channel has been me testing things out and learning as I go, and you getting to watch as I figure stuff out and screw up and succeed and so on. So I'm going to try something tonight to prep something and start it a bit. And we'll see how far I go, but I was going to just do it off camera and just sort of be ready to go, but I thought, I'll do the whole thing. So, let me tell you what I'm actually talking about. As you can see, I've got some of my 4x4 canvas panels here, and I've got my what's it called? Compass. And of course I still have a bunch of mess all around me. None of this stuff applies. But this, if you can see, will apply, this marker, and some other ones. So what I'm planning to do is to start working on one of these squares and to start working on a mandala. But in order to do that, so the previous mandalas that I've made that I've shown before and that are on my Instagram page, I did those in workshops where the canvas or the wood, the surface was already prepared. And what I mean by that is there were markings on it already to help guide me with the mandala. Not so much telling me how to draw it, but just guides so that I can keep it somewhat even and stay sort of on track. You'll see what I mean. So what I'm going to do is first I got to unwrap my canvas, because apparently we can't have too much wrapping in these things like these days. So even though this was in a wrapper, it was also separately wrapped so that I guess, you know, if you open the wrapping but you don't get to all the canvases, they're still protected until you are ready to use them. And I hate having to open stuff like this. Let's see what I can do. So this is the back, so I'm not too concerned if I scratch it, but it looks like there might be something right here that I can snip at. Maybe get more out. Okay, garbage. Yeah, that's better. These scissors are so handy, they just live right there all the time. All right, so we have almost canvas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some circles on here. Now, in order to make sure that my circles are centered, and also to keep sort of an 8-section type of layout. Let me see if I can show you on this. So this is one that this is the first one I did. And so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And then 8 around. These, of course, there are more than 8, but if you go from like here to here, you'll see there's 3 in between. If you go from here to here, 3 in between. So it's this whole idea of 8 sections. And you know, a mandala doesn't have to be 8 sections, but when we're working with a square, it's kind of easiest, because basically what we'll do is, so for an example, this mandala, this canvas would have had a circle here. I think it might have had a circle in the middle here. I can't remember. It would have had another circle here and another one here. And every canvas that that's brought has different circles, closer or further together, whatever. This just happened to be the one that I picked out for here. But it also had lines on it. So I'm going to sneeze. Pardon me. There might be one more in there. Pardon me. All right. Sorry about that. So 8 lines. So there'll be a line going diagonal here and diagonal here, and then straight down here and straight across here. And those lines help to sort of see, like, break this into 8 sections, that you can work on that helped me do these, and the lines even in themselves helped me figure out like where, say like the point of this was going to go to. So stuff like that. And also by doing all of those lines, we get our center point that we can then use the compass on and start building out those other circles. So put that aside. So before we can use the compass, we need to make those lines. I did not get a proper ruler and I'm kind of regretting it now. Well, we'll see. What I did get is just some packaging that I still have together, and I figured it's long enough that I can take this pencil and line up my corners. Corners, and let's don't want to go past them too much. So like that, lined up. And I'm just gonna draw a line across. Boom, line. And now I'm gonna do the exact same thing this way. And of course, whether it's my hair or the dog's hair, there's always got to be hair around. Okay, let's go with that. And the good thing with the pencil is two things. First of all, we can always erase it if, if I really screwed up, I can erase it. But the other thing is with the acrylic markers that we're going to use, they're going to cover up that pencil regardless. So now we know that this is our center right here that we're going to need to use for using the compass. But I do still want those two other lines. And this is where I'm regretting not getting a proper ruler. Because of course I've got my center point here, but what's my center point here? I could guess it, but do I want to? How can I measure this with something that I have near me? All right, let's see. Will this work? Not, oh, is that enough? Yeah, all right. Gotta be resourceful. Okay, so I'm gonna go from this edge to this edge. Of course, then these are rounded edges, so what do you define as the edge? Good question, I don't know. That's not the pencil end. See, this is why, isn't it fun that I do this on camera for you to watch and laugh at me? So if we say that's the end, and let's use these handy scissors again, and just snip that right off. Okay, so this is my edge to edge. So now, if I fold this over edge to edge, and make sure this is straight, and that gives me kind of a center point. Yuck. Let's see if I can get that a bit better. But actually, I'll mark it on this side. Yeah, that works. Okay. So then what I can do is I want to make sure that I'm as straight on here as possible for consistency, and that needs to be, that's lined up. So we'll go, gosh, eyeballing it really makes me think it's in the wrong place, but we're gonna put a mark right there. And then do the same thing, but on this side, and we'll put a mark right there. And just because I'm being weird, I want to see that, that. Well, let's see if these two things actually line up through through the center. That'll be the deciding factor for sure. So if we have that there, and I line up to the center. Now, see, these aren't, shoot. I think it's because the paper is too thick. So it didn't give me a really good, I felt like that was too far over to the left. What else can we use? Can we use? Can we use? Do we have anything here that has kind of proper markings on it? Nope. My phone has the ability to put a ruler on it, but I'm recording you with this right now, so that doesn't work. Let's see, if we go like that, then that center line should be here. In which case, I feel like it's more here. We're going to do this 5 million times. And then if I go up here, let's do it this way. And it's kind of more here. All right, let's see if those two line up. Let's start with this one this time. Line and center. Okay, I'm good with that. It's maybe a touch. Let's see. Nope, I'm good with that. Okay, so let's use that method again. That's about there. And that's about there. Let's see how these line up from here through there. Yeah, I think this is going to work out okay without ruler. You just got to be resourceful with what you've got. All right, so I've got my 8 sections. And as I mentioned, like that line there, no big deal. It'll get covered up. So that I am done with. Now, before we go any further, this is a bit, well, this is pretty tough too, though. I'm just concerned about how pointy this is. I mean, I have to hit it pretty decently to hurt. But I don't want it to wreck the center here. So I was thinking about covering it with some UV resin, and I've got that all on standby if I decide to do that. But let me try something here. If I do this and spin this around a couple times. Yeah, that's definitely leaving a mark. I don't know if you can see that, but it's definitely leaving a mark, which I don't want. So UV resin it is. So I've got my resin and I've got my lamp all ready to go. And so I'm just going to figure this out slowly but surely. I should have my gloves on, but do you know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna open this up all the way. I'm gonna put a dollop of resin right there. I'm going to put this in the, no, let's see, in the middle. Well, I kind of want it to not be right in the middle though. Actually, that works really well. What I might do is just do a couple of, let's just do a couple of these and see how it works. And try not to get the resin on the light. And I'm just spinning it because Otherwise the resin will just, now I'm going to put these closer together. I don't want the resin to ball up all on one side and fall off. So I'll just do this. And because it's so little, it might just work with one minute. And of course, this step I won't have to do again because the compass will just be ready. But I figured, hey, you could watch me succeed or fail depending on how it goes. So far, not too bad. All right. Okay, it's a bit sticky still, and I can see it's definitely still got a point, but I feel like, wonder if this has also started to cure, even just a little bit. I think it has. I'm gonna do a minute on there, and then I'm gonna stick this into the dot there and see how that goes. I might even stop it partway through the minute. Let's use the trusty scissors. Oh yeah, that's all ready. Let's just see if we can even get this in there. It might be too much already. Yep, it is. But very possible, and I think very likely that, yep, the underside, haha, is not set fully. And so we can go this way. Because it's not set fully, and the resin on the compass point also wasn't set fully, I think we should be able to bond these two together. And I can always build it up a little bit if I need to as well. I'm just worried about how, and actually I kind of don't mind that it's got the round edge underneath, because that might make it easier for it to spin around on the canvas. So let's just wait and see how this works. That's the best thing about going with the flow. Just because things don't go according to plan doesn't mean they're ruined. Sometimes you come out with better things. So we'll just keep going with the flow, which is kind of part of what mandalas are about too. You could make them all perfect, but all right. I think I like it. I'm gonna do another minute just to get it all very firmed up. It is definitely a bit lopsided. I think it should be okay though. I'm gonna just move it around a bit. Let it go from the top side, the bottom side, whichever side. But I think this will work, but we definitely want to make sure that it is hard, especially the underside, not sticky, or it's going to make the canvas sticky, and we do not want that. So I guess worst case we could put the light over top of the canvas, but then we would have this weird smooth spot. So let's just let that keep doing its thing. All right. Yeah, it's sticky. We'll just test it on the other side again. Does that spin good? It does. It doesn't leave a mark. Let's just check it again like we did before. And I can spin. Of course, granted, it's spinning differently, but I'll make sure it stays in place. All right, so I think we are good with that light, and we're good with the resin, so we'll clear that all out. Okay, well, let's give it a go and see how it works. Shoot, you know what, while we're doing this, there is just a touch of stickiness there, but I still want to make sure on the mat I don't want to get the back end of my canvas sticky. So let's just see if I can get this spinning in a proper circle. Yeah, it's a bit hit and miss, but let's give it a try. And again, these aren't needing to be 100% perfect. They're sometimes better off being a little bit different, a little bit imperfect, because then they are unique. I feel like I'd rather go that way there. Yep. And yeah, unique is good. So I'm just going to keep doing this way. I'm going to readjust every now and then. But I think overall, we're smudging the center a bit, but that's okay too. Oops, what's going on here? There. Okay, circle number 1. And I think because this is small, I'm just going to keep it simple. We're just going to do 2 circles. So keeping it in place again. Go around here. I can already tell it's moved off of its center. Okay. There-ish. All right, close enough. I am essentially happy with that. So we'll get rid of the pencil. And hopefully, yep, that's not sticky anymore. So now, it really doesn't look like a circle. That's okay. So I just bought this marker the other day, so I definitely want to use this one. And I think I didn't get a chance to use this other new one that I got. So that's 2. Should we just go with 2, or should I add a 3rd? And if I add a 3rd, should it be a purple? Or, you know what, let's do this. This is the other thing I like doing, whether I'm using pencil crayons or any other kind of paints, markers, crayons. So we'll give this a shake and test it out. I'm gonna just do it. I mean, this is paper here, but it's still gonna give me an idea of the color. And I'm small, I do small things. I'm not small, I just do small things. So that's that one. Sorry, talking to my kid there. Yeah, so I can always make it bigger if I need to, the color swatch there, but essentially that's what we're doing, is color swatching. So that is the purple, or I believe it's called berry. Yeah, berry. And that totally took the lid right off. Ugh. All right, and put the lid back on before shaking it. And we want to make sure we hear that noise. I know because this is new, we need to sort of prime it with the pumping. And sometimes it takes a bit longer. I can see the color just barely starting to come through there. A little bit more. So it's getting here. Takes a little bit of time sometimes. Let's see that we've got it there, but it's still not quite at the tip. So now it's mostly, it'll continue to fill up. But that gives us our idea of what that color looks like. So now, let's see. Ooh, I have an idea for a color. Let's see how this one looks. Maybe not different enough. Leave it out for a second. We could also go blue, but you know I'm dying to do one that's more purple than anything else. Well, I guess let's see for this dark blue. I mean dark, well, it's called Prussian blue. I think it's purple. I think that's too dark. No, I don't want to do this one. All right, let's see. This one is violet. I mean, it looks good with the blue, but again, not, I mean, I want to use the new one, but it almost would be better to use this one and like these two with this, but no. And the other option, this is emerald green. I'm just going to put these down here again. Let's see. I mean, they're definitely distinct. I think they go together. Put this way. What else? And I haven't used that green. Certainly not on this. Oh, there's also this aqua green. See how that goes. Well, now that's kind of nice. Yeah, I think we'll do these three. Just without, yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Now these are a bit wet. Just a little, and I mean, it's not the end of the world if I get it on here, it'll wipe off. But I'll have something I can blot it against. How about some old tissue? Perfect. All right. So now is the part where I sit and stare usually for a while. So instead, I'm going to start drawing. And I think, let's start with this one. I've been thinking about doing these with curls. Which way do I want to do them? Or should I save them for a bigger section? See, then I just stop and I start thinking. And some people say that you should just flow and do whatever, but I need to think a little bit. It's just who I am. I don't have to plan it meticulously, but I need to think in between steps. So if I wanted to have something like that, why don't I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put a dot in the middle-ish. Not that far away. My middles are very bad. And these are all totally not gonna be in the right place, but this is why even when I plan things, they don't quite go to plan. What I'm thinking about doing, you'll see in a second. Let's do it this way. So I'm gonna do sort of a U, kind of. That didn't work right. And then again, kind of making like a starburst. I'm just kind of using those dots as my idea for where I want the bottom of the U to go, roughly. And keeping in mind, I can let this dry and color over it completely if I wanted to, start from scratch, whatever I need to do. So I'm going to just color those parts in a bit more because I can see the pencil. And I mean, again, I can always go over it a bit when it's dry as well. And then just color that all in. And now that I've done that, I feel like that's a really big space. One thing I can tell you too is that once I get my pattern all sorted out and drawn out, I will go over it, trace everything out with a black, usually, marker as well. And I'll make sure that none of that pencil is showing through, even if I have to do another coat. And there's a good chance too, when I fill in, because that's kind of going to be the background, I might even do that color and then put something else over top of it. Okay, and there's also a really good chance I'm going to color something in the middle of that, because that's just how I roll. So now the other thing is, even though I have these circles drawn out, doesn't mean I'm limited to always putting something within those circles. If I wanted to, I could do something only up to a half point here. That would be totally cool, and actually I might do that. Ooh, I just had a thought. Yep, okay, so let's see where this goes. This is just an idea. But using that half point, and again, just because it's circled doesn't mean we need to keep with circular items and designs and shapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the half point, follow this line, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of draw all of these half point lines first. And I know they're a bit more than half point, and that's fine. They're getting bigger as I draw them. And they're kind of coming out of that starburst. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go, oops, one more. One more. So there's that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line going from here out towards here, but I'm only going to do it halfway. Now, do I want it to actually be, I want it to go like that? Or do I want it to go more as if it were a straight edge along an invisible circle? I'm going to stick with what I can visually do, which is going to look a bit wonkier than what I initially intended, but this in general is already a bit wonkier than what I initially intended. So I'm only going to go halfway. And then let's just do this step first and see what I decide to do. So again, from here to here, about halfway, here to here, halfway. And then you gotta watch for when you get the paint on you and start getting it all over everything else. Because that part is, that's another benefit of thinking about things for a little bit, is it gives the paint a chance to dry. So let's just make sure that's not gonna wipe off on anything else. Okay, so we'll do it this way. So from here to here, about halfway, here to here, halfway, here to here, halfway, there to there, you guessed it, halfway, and one more, here to here, halfway. That's a bit more than halfway. All right, so we're on our way to making our mandala. Now, what on earth do I want to do with it now? Ooh, you know what I might do? This is a bit different. Yeah, I like it. I'm going to go now. I'm going to attach Some people might make it triangles, right? And go from here back down to here. I'm going to make it kind of a weird parallelogram-ish shape. So I'm going to go from here to here. So here to here. And if I need to bring it out more, maybe I will. Yeah. To there. Bring it out a bit more. Bring it down to here. Bring that one down. This one down. And this one down. And this one down. And then I'm going to go around. Should I keep it squares or should I go circle? I'm going to go circle for now. And then I'm probably going to color these bits in with this part. So let's just color these around and keep in mind anything that isn't quite 100% I can fix later when it's dry. I can fix when I do the black outline. Sometimes covers up some errors or lips or whatever have you. And then yes, then I'm going to just color these in. So that is that. I love these markers. You haven't actually had a chance to see me use them, but they're just acrylic paint markers. Now my understanding is they may be a little bit, you know, they may have something in there that helps them flow a bit better than just regular straight up acrylic paint, but they are essentially just acrylic paint. You could use these on top of acrylic paint, paintings of other things. Any way that you would use acrylic paint, you can use these markers. So that's really cool. I really like them. And I'm really happy with this color purchase. Sorry if my head keeps getting in the way. I hate when there's like little white speckles because of the canvas having a texture and the ink not necessarily covering it all. Alright, there we go. And here again. Okay. Oh, let's see. There's one. There's one. And there's one. And there's one. I think I'll probably do a second coat anyways. But you're getting the idea, I hope. So, and I can tell even just this color by itself and the way that it's working. I mean, every canvas is different, and let's be honest, these were pretty cheap canvases. So I'm not expecting, you know, high quality. And so there's different different amounts of the paint you can kind of see maybe on in different places. So I think a second coat later will be really good. Now, what I'm gonna do, oh, there's so many possibilities for later. I'm not gonna finish this all up. I'm just gonna do one more bit for now. I'm a little nervous that the edges maybe aren't quite dry yet where I want, but I'm just gonna blow, fan it so that you can see it. Hopefully it's not strobing too much. All right, let's just cross our fingers and hope not to make a mess. So I'm gonna color in those middle bits. So, and the green I'm pretty sure is dry. It's more the blue that I'm concerned about right now. But again, like I said, we're gonna use the black later to sort of fix up things as well. Or, yeah. So I mean, even that white space right there, if I leave that right now, I'm not too concerned because I'll just outline that with black. But you know me, I'm gonna color it in right now. Mostly. There we go. I'm not gonna worry about it. too much. So just do the same here. Yep. Liking this. Do the same here. I could always color that in with a bit of green again instead if I wanted to have a rounder purple. Or more even, like even here I could cover over the green a bit. Same here. Gonna come over it and I'll just play with it and see. I mean, at the end of it, it's how it all looks together too, right? So down, back up, and do this. And I'm rushing a little bit just because I can hear my poor pup whining. And despite telling my kiddo that that was happening, he doesn't seem to have done anything to help alleviate it. So the sooner I'm done here, the sooner I can go pet him and let him know everything is okay. He just wants to know he's not alone. Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave it for today. I'll probably do part 2 maybe on another video. If not, I'll definitely show you, but this is where I'm going to leave it. So beginning of a new mandala. Thanks for coming out. You can check out my other videos on resin and alcohol ink and whatever else I happen to do on YouTube. All my videos stay there. I live stream on YouTube and Twitch, and finished products end up on my Instagram channel, which is actually Amethyst Answers. But yeah, anyways, thanks for coming out. We'll see you next time.